Why do some people stay calm under pressure, recover quickly from setbacks, and think with clarity even in chaos? Eastern traditions believed the answer wasn't talent or personality, it was training the mind. Thousands of years before neuroscience or artificial intelligence, Eastern philosophies focused on how thoughts form, how suffering repeats, and how awareness can reshape perception. These teachings weren't abstract spirituality, they were practical methods for rewiring mental habits. In this countdown, we're exploring 10 Eastern teachings that can genuinely change how your mind works, not by forcing positivity, but by restructuring attention, identity, and response patterns. As we move closer to number 1, the teachings become deeper and more transformative. Many of these ideas quietly influence modern psychology today, even if most people don't realize where they came from. Number 10. Stillness trains the mind. Eastern traditions treated stillness as mental training, not inactivity. Practices like meditation were designed to calm mental noise and sharpen awareness. Ancient teachers noticed that constant thinking weakened clarity. When the mind slowed, insight improved. Modern neuroscience now confirms this. Regular stillness reduces overactivity in brain regions linked to stress and rumination. But ancient practitioners didn't need brain scans. They observed the effects directly. Stillness creates space between thoughts instead of being trapped inside them. Over time, this rewires attention itself. You stop reacting automatically and start observing consciously. The mind becomes quieter, but more alert. This teaching isn't about escaping life, it's about engaging with it more intelligently. Stillness was seen as strength, not withdrawal, because it trained the mind to remain steady regardless of external chaos. Number 9. Attention shapes experience. Eastern philosophy taught that where attention goes, experience follows. Suffering wasn't caused only by events, but by where the mind repeatedly rested. Ancient teachers observed that attention stuck on fear produced anxiety, while attention grounded in awareness produced calm. Modern psychology now agrees. Attention determines emotional response. You can't control every situation, but you can influence what you focus on. This teaching rewires the mind by shifting control from circumstances to awareness. Instead of trying to change everything outside, you learn to redirect attention inside. Over time, this changes emotional patterns. You stop feeding distress unconsciously. Attention becomes intentional. Eastern wisdom understood that the mind becomes what it repeatedly focuses on. This principle still shapes how habits, emotions, and identity form today. Number 8. The mind learns through repetition. Eastern teachings emphasized daily practice over sudden breakthroughs. Whether through mantra, movement, or meditation, repetition was central. Ancient teachers understood that the mind doesn't change through insight alone. It changes through repeated experience. Modern neuroscience now confirms this through brain plasticity. Repeated mental states strengthen neural pathways. Eastern wisdom applied this intuitively. Instead of chasing motivation, practitioners built consistency. Over time, calm, discipline, and clarity became automatic. This teaching rewires the mind by replacing emotional volatility with stability. You don't wait to feel different. You practice until difference becomes natural. Repetition trains the mind just like exercise trains the body. This is why Eastern practices focused on routine, not inspiration. Consistency was the real transformation tool. Number 7. Desire distorts perception. Eastern traditions observed that desire doesn't just motivate, it distorts. When the mind clings to outcomes, clarity weakens. Ancient Buddhist teachings explained how craving narrows awareness and increases dissatisfaction. Modern psychology now explains this through hedonic adaptation and expectation-driven stress. The mind becomes restless when fulfillment is always placed in the future. Eastern teachings didn't demand abandoning desire entirely. They taught reducing attachment to it. This rewires perception. When desire loosens its grip, the mind becomes less reactive and more present. You start responding instead of chasing. Over time, contentment increases not because life changes, but because perception does. This teaching retrains the mind away from constant wanting and towards stability and clarity. Number 6. The body is part of the mind. Eastern systems never separated mind and body. Breath, posture, and movement were treated as mental tools. Practices like controlled breathing were designed to calm thoughts by regulating the nervous system. Modern science now confirms this connection. Breathing patterns directly influence emotional states. Ancient practitioners learned this through observation. When breath slowed, thoughts settled. When posture aligned, focus improved. This teaching rewires the mind physically. Instead of fighting thoughts, you regulate the body and let the mind follow. It's efficient and practical. Eastern wisdom understood that mental change doesn't always begin in thought. It often begins in sensation. Number 5. Identity is flexible. Eastern philosophy consistently warned against rigid identity because it limits growth. Labels like "this is who I am" were seen as mental traps, not truths. Ancient teachers observed that the moment people cling to identity, they stop evolving. Modern psychology confirms this through identity-based behavior models. People behave in ways that match how they see themselves, even when that self-image is outdated or inaccurate. Eastern teachings didn't encourage strengthening identity, they encouraged loosening it. This creates adaptability. When identity softens, behavior becomes flexible. You stop defending an image and start responding to reality as it is. Growth accelerates because you're no longer trapped by labels like strong, weak, confident, or broken. Ancient wisdom understood that real freedom begins when identity becomes something you use, not something that controls you. Number 4. Thoughts are not commands. Eastern teachings trained people to observe thoughts rather than obey them. Thoughts were seen as passing mental events, not instructions or truths. Ancient practitioners noticed that suffering increased when people believed every thought they had. Modern cognitive therapies now teach the same principle. When thoughts are observed without attachment, their emotional power weakens. This rewires the mind by breaking automatic identification. You stop confusing thoughts with reality. Over time, emotional reactions soften because thoughts lose authority. The mind becomes a tool instead of a dictator. Eastern awareness practices taught this skill long before psychology named it. You don't fight thoughts or suppress them, you watch them. That simple shift creates distance, clarity, and control. When thoughts stop commanding behavior, choice returns. Number 3. Discipline creates freedom. Eastern traditions valued discipline more than emotion because they understood motivation fades, structure remains. Ancient practitioners didn't wait to feel inspired, they trained discipline daily. Modern behavioral science confirms this. Habits outperform willpower every time. Discipline rewires the mind by removing constant internal negotiation. Decisions become simpler, energy becomes consistent. Instead of debating whether to act, action becomes automatic. Eastern wisdom never framed discipline as punishment. It was seen as freedom from chaos, inconsistency, and emotional fluctuation. When routines form, mental stress decreases and clarity improves. The mind stops wasting energy on resistance. Discipline wasn't about control, it was about stability. By reducing internal conflict, discipline created space for growth, focus, and peace. Ancient wisdom understood that structure doesn't restrict life, it supports it. Number 2. Inner peace is trainable. Eastern teachings treated inner peace as a skill, not a personality trait. Calmness wasn't something you were born with, it was something you practiced. Ancient meditation traditions trained the nervous system through repetition. Modern neuroscience now confirms emotional regulation can be strengthened through consistent practice. Ancient meditation wasn't belief-based, it was conditioning. Repeated calm states reshaped emotional responses over time. This rewired the mind away from chronic stress and reactivity. Peace stopped being occasional and became a baseline. Eastern wisdom removed helplessness by teaching that stability is learnable. You didn't need perfect circumstances to feel calm, you needed training. This idea alone changed how people related to suffering. Peace wasn't luck, it was skill. Number 1. Awareness changes everything. The most powerful Eastern teaching is awareness itself. Ancient traditions agreed that awareness transforms whatever it touches. When you become aware of thoughts, habits, and reactions, they lose unconscious control. Modern psychology supports this fully. Awareness interrupts automatic patterns and creates space for choice. This rewires the mind at the deepest level. You stop living on autopilot. Awareness doesn't judge or force change, it reveals. And once something is seen clearly, it can no longer control you blindly. This is why Eastern wisdom placed awareness above all techniques. Every other practice depends on it. Once awareness is present, growth becomes possible. Change stops being forced and starts becoming natural. Eastern teachings never promised instant transformation. They offered something more powerful, permanent change through understanding and practice. These ideas survived thousands of years because they work at the core of the human mind. If one teaching stood out, take a moment to reflect on why. Like the video if it brought clarity, share it with someone focused on growth, and subscribe for more content that blends ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Real rewiring doesn't happen overnight. It happens through awareness, practiced daily.